Tortoise and the Hare. Once upon a time in the heart of the Enchanted Forest, there lived a boastful hare named Harold, and a wise old tortoise named Tobias. The two were known throughout the forest for their contrasting personalities and a friendly rivalry that had developed over the years. Harold, with his sleek fur and nimble legs, was the fastest creature in the Enchanted Forest. He loved to flaunt his speed and agility, often challenging other animals to races. Tobias, on the other hand, was a slow and steady tortoise, renowned for his patience and wisdom. One sunny morning, as the birds chirped and the flowers bloomed, Harold couldn't resist boasting about his speed once again. "I am the fastest in the Enchanted Forest," he declared proudly. "No one can beat me in a race." Tobias, who was munching on some leaves nearby, looked up and chuckled. "Speed may be impressive, my dear friend, but there's more to a race than just being fast. It's about perseverance and determination." Harold rolled his eyes. "You can't be serious, Tobias. Speed is everything. I challenge you to a race, and I guarantee I'll leave you in the dust." Tobias, always up for a challenge, agreed. "Very well, Harold. Let's have a race. But remember, it's not always the fastest who wins." Word quickly spread through the Enchanted Forest about the upcoming race between the hare and the tortoise. Animals of all shapes and sizes gathered to witness this extraordinary event. The start and finish line were marked with vibrant flowers, and the air buzzed with excitement. As the race began, Harold shot off like an arrow, leaving a trail of dust behind him. The onlookers cheered and marveled at his incredible speed. Tobias, true to his nature, started at a slow and steady pace, his determined eyes fixed on the path ahead. The forest animals watched in awe as the hare darted ahead, disappearing into the distance. The cheers for Harold grew louder, and some animals were convinced that the race was already over. However, as Harold sped through the forest, he became overconfident. He decided to take a nap under the shade of a large oak tree, convinced that Tobias would never catch up. Little did he know that Tobias, with his slow but steady progress, was making his way through the course. As the sun began to set, the forest animals grew restless. Where was the hare? Had he given up the race? Just when they thought the race was over, they noticed a tiny speck on the horizon. It was Tobias, steadily approaching the finish line. The atmosphere changed as the animals realized that the race was not yet decided. The cheers for the tortoise grew louder, and a hush fell over the crowd as they watched in anticipation. Harold, waking up from his nap, saw Tobias in the distance. Panic set in as he realized he had underestimated the tortoise. With a burst of energy, he sprinted towards the finish line, desperate to reclaim his lead. As the two competitors approached the final stretch, it became evident that Tobias had a chance of winning. The once confident and boastful hare was now running with all his might. But Tobias's slow and steady approach was paying off. In a surprising turn of events, Tobias crossed the finish line just a heartbeat before Harold. The forest erupted in cheers as the underdog tortoise claimed victory over the speedy hare. Harold, humbled and out of breath, approached Tobias with a newfound respect. "I never thought I'd say this, old friend, but you were right. It's not just about speed, it's about determination and perseverance." Tobias nodded sagely. "True strength lies in resilience, Harold. Sometimes the slow and steady win the race." The Enchanted Forest learned a valuable lesson that day, that speed alone could not guarantee success. From then on, the story of the tortoise and the hare was retold throughout the forest, as a reminder that in the race of life, it's not always the fastest who reach the finish line first, but those who endure with patience and determination. Thanks a bunch for sharing this fairy tale with us. We had a blast, and we hope you did too. Remember to give that like button a friendly tap and hit the subscribe button so you won't miss out on more classical fairy tales and giggles. Can't wait to see you again soon for another round of Storytime fun.